Hey YouTube, I finally got Togedemaru to work with the team. Trevenant, Walrein, Togedemaru. So I used this Pokemon constant last year because it was such a wall, steel, electric, double resist, flying type moves. Plus you can beat Lantern, right? So beating that Owl Lantern core was great. 2 wild charges take out a Medicham, although it's a tricky situation. But you get walled by grounds. So Galarian Stunfisk, Swampert, Diggersby. Like those Pokemon just absolutely wall you. So I put in, it has to be sort of ABB style team. It doesn't have to be, but I found it just worked better. Walrein has sort of like the well-rounded Pokemon that can take the fighting, and then Trevenant on the front, deal with everything else. It does leave you a bit vulnerable to like Scrafty, but it is okay. So I'm going to stay in here and let's see if I try and catch. Yeah, I'm going to try and catch because almost all the time in that matchup, they're going to throw a Dark Pulse, which doesn't do nearly enough. If you saw my video the other, I don't know when that video is going up. I have a Kafagrigus team. It's either up or coming. And Dark Pulse is much, much worse than Shadow Ball. So you can easily take that. Take it on the Walrein. They CMP there. I'm going to shield one because, again, Shadow Ball would hurt a lot. So that's good shield. They are staying in, which is interesting to me. Don't know what's in the back yet, but they are not. They don't have an answer, right? If they had a fighter, they would be out by now. And I'm like, if you're staying in here, you are probably weak to either ice or flying. Maybe you have the Owl in the back or something like that that I can beat, right? And it is a Zoomerol, so that not one that I totally expected. There's the one I expected. That is the one I expected. And now you are double weak to electric, so you are going to have a real rough time right now. I'll take one Shadow Ball. I can take one. I cannot take one plus another move here. So I'm going to have to throw before, but look at that. 2 wild charges. Here comes one. This will one-shot. Here comes another. What's going to be another one right on the Azu. This is going to hurt. Azu's full health, so it will not take it out, but it is going to hurt a lot. So puts it deep in the yellow. Can I get to another move? Probably not. Yeah. Once you lower your defense, Togedemaru is so glass. I have a C-bomb, so it doesn't matter. But Togedemaru is so glassy, and once you lower your defense, it's just like you are going to be taken out very quickly. So Medicham lead, this is where you want to see it. Grass. So this was a kind of actually it was not kind of, it was a dumb swap. I have such a good matchup with Trevenant on it, but my initial mind went to grass. I need to take it out with my ice so this doesn't see Medicham. But this thing is spammy, and this thing has Frenzy Plant, and that hurts a water type Pokemon. So not the best idea. I do get to the second shield. I do not know if I'm going to get to a third one before they get to a third. It is a race here. Icicle Spear is pretty spammy. Yeah, so I just managed to get it. So I guess that quick coming in did help me out there because I now keep Trevenant on the Medicham. What is in the back is the only other question. They're going to come in counter. Just get some chip damage here. That's fine because now it's like Claw and C-Bomb range. Now the question is, what do they have in the back? And you gotta hope that it is not a second fighter, ABA fighter. I don't see many ABA teams, so I'm not too worried. They go Psychic. Yep. So this is more than fine. Here comes the Shadow Ball. We've seen this many times this season. Not this season. This is the second time this season. We've seen it many times last season, where I was just able to straight dominate with this Pokemon against the Owl. I'm at back-to-back moves. There goes one. Straight wild charge to Medicham. If it's under 50%, it's going to KO here. We're loading up energy here. And goodbye, Medicham. This thing hits so hard. Again, good lead here. This is where you want to see it. Credilli, this is one I'm a little slower. Smart. Let's go straight C-Bomb. Because again, it's rock, so it's going to take neutral of this. I can live a rock slide. And I try and catch on the Togedemaru because rock slide and what's that, grass knot, both resisted against steel, right? So as long as I chip it enough, I can now just go That hurts, still hurts. Like, that's resisted, and it's a non-shadow, and now I overfarm. Oh boy, doing my best to lose this matchup. I should have thrown the wild charge long before that. So that was dumb to go all the way down here. So I do take it out resisted. Defense Deoxys can come in, just like 2 counter me down, but that's fine. I'll get another wild charge off. Do good amount of chip damage, but they are saving smartly whatever's in the back. Sableye. So I'm just going to throw this to chip, and then it's immediately Powder Snow Icicle Spear. Try to spam. And they let it go, which is interesting. I guess they're now going to try and go 2 Shield Defense Deoxys against a Trevenant, which is risky because it's already so low that I can probably just claw and shield. And they may start recognizing that right now. Yeah. They may try and claw all the way down. Shield and claw. Come out with 2 moves. Yeah, that's not a bad way to do it here. But now you are within. There's 1 claw went through. Are you in 1 claw range is the question. Because it's probably back to back here. They bank. Did they bank a move or just save the Pokemon? Let's see. This will take this. Just not take it out. I mean, it doesn't matter. No move's going to take me out here. Now it's just who can outclaw who here, or do they have a move? They do not. So I just survive the claw. Sableye is a bad lead, but that's okay. You're supposed to draw out a fighter anyways in this meta. And they catch on a zoom roll. In terms of catching, there's 2 ways you can do it. Actually, there's more than 2 ways, but there's 2 ways that I've found a lot of people do. 1, you try and catch right on the first, like right on. So for Powder Snow Icicle Spear, you would try to catch right on 5. Or you anticipate that your opponent is going to overfarm the catch, and then you catch it on the next one, which is what happened there. Basically, they knew I was going to try and, like, I wouldn't throw, so they didn't get out right away, and then when I did go to throw, they caught it. So that hurts. And now I'm going to have to land. It doesn't matter. This game's over. I have to land like 2 wild charges while baiting a couple times. I need to, if I bump my attack, I can maybe get it. And they call it. Yeah, I remember them calling it. This game's over. As soon as they call that, it's over. What I had to try and do was try and go for like double bait wild charge. But 2 shielded and they call it. That's well done by them. And eventually I'm just gonna get 2. Oh yeah, Jesus. Sableye, super spammy. And let's top left here. Yep. Trevenant, Sunfisk. Again, this is where it gets tricky because you kind of have to stay in because you can't take Rock Slide on the Walrein, and your Togedemaru is just walled here. Yeah, if they got a fighter in the back here like a Metacham, you are in trouble. So going straight Shadow Ball here. They let it go, which is good. I can live it. I know that much. And now I finally get out. At that point the damage is probably done already, right? I'm really low, so even if they have a Metacham here now, I'm in big trouble. And it is a Tapu, and this has been quite the increase in fairies this season. But all non-charm fairies, right? I've seen very, very few charm fairies, but I saw Azu multiple times, and I've seen Tapu Fini a couple times, and then I've seen Clefable a bunch. And I've also seen other fairy wind Pokemon like Slurpuff and a couple others. So definitely a comeback of the fairies, but non-charm, because charm got nerfed, right? So not a lot of people are running the charm fairies. They're just running all these other fairies. So it's interesting, right? Did not even plan that. We are going to go back-to-back wild charges. No, we're going to save one. We're going to throw and get out of here. Yeah. Because every move they have is resisted. And the only sort of way I can lose is if I like lower my defense first. Now they're down shields. So I'm just going to come in here and take this out. Galarian Stunfisk, I think is at a rock slide, so I just have to throw here. Take this out. And now I'm 4 times lowered, so any sort of move here is going to hurt. Managed to 2-spark down the Tapu, so killing it in the ending here. This is incredibly risky and borderline dumb. Because they have a charm user on the front. This is where I think I just like screwed. Because they had a charm user on the front. I think I probably needed to stay in the matchup. But like you can see this back end, I'm just going to get taken out. But 3 wild charges here. This will take it out if they don't shield. Okay, so I just flip switch. But who cares? Okay, so there's your fighter. Okay, I can align here. That's good. The problem with the charm user is that it's just going to 2-shield everything and beat both. I was about to say, what it should have done is 2-shielded everything and just charmed its way through my team. But they don't know what I have in the back. They probably assume that I have a second steal, right? Because I came in Togedemaru. Togedemaru just so easily walled. That's a very risky switch. But I didn't come in Walrein because the powder snows are resisted and I would have just been out-charmed significantly. It's a really bad matchup here unless your shield's down and then I get Earthquake. So then it's not a bad matchup. But it is a very bad matchup. Shields up. I'm not going to an Earthquake because I think my win condition is either coming out with energy. We both recognize our only potential win conditions. Let me stop it here because that was good recognition by both of us. If I throw an Earthquake and take that out, let's back up a bit. If I throw an Earthquake and take this out, I'm basically dry on energy at like 60% health. The Medichamp's just going to come in and farm and have a move to throw and take out my Trevenant. So I'm going to lose. I know that, and I think they recognize that too, which is why you're seeing here, because I think they're at a move. So that's why I bait, and I'm like, I got to farm down because I cannot let this Medicham get like a bunch of energy. And they were also thinking like the Medicham needs energy against the Trevenants. So that's why they were not throwing a move, because we can't just go straight up Trevenant versus Medicham. It's going to get killed. And because of that, I'm now coming out with 2 moves. They're still right. They need to farm and come out with a move here. But in the end, they do not have enough farm. So good recognition on both parts. This one is a powder snow. So this is one you just come in straight away with the Walrein. And there is your fighter, right? So, okay, this is kind of how you want to see this team. Bad lead, bad switch, but hopefully Togedemaru will run in the ending. Guessing by the amount of time left, it probably will not. I think that I'm going to lose this matchup here. But I grabbed a shield. Ooh, plus another. I don't think I'll grab a second shield, but I think they live. And now I'm going to get no farm. So I got to let this go. And it's all going to come down to what is in the back. So I think I just take this. I don't need to take it. I could shield Ice Punch, but I want to just go 2-shielded Togedemaru. I have to shield now. I can't go 1 shield, you know, because you don't know what's in the back. If it's like, so I catch there, which is great. But if it's a steel, like a Galarian Stunfisk or Swampert or something, I'm screwed, and I need to keep the Trevenant alive. But this is just a hard counter matchup, so I really have no chance here. So get the 1 wild shard off. They're smart. If I remember, they let this go, which is absolutely the right move because your win condition is now. Yep, that's smart. Let it go. Win condition is now powder snow that they're already loaded with energy, and I think I shield, but they already had 2 moves, so it doesn't matter. So that's just hard counters. Not much you can do there. Those matchups will happen. I think we got 1 more matchup here, and then that will be it for Togedemaru. Again, the problem with this Pokemon is it already always got walled by Galarian Stunfisk, all the grounds, right? Now, a lot more mud boys. A lot more mud boys, which adds more walls to you. Plus, plus the 2 Pokemon I were using now have Drill Run, which Drill Run one-shots you, right? So it's just kind of like, ugh. It's much, much, much tougher to run now, unfortunately. So that is why I have only used it once this season. There's other Pokemon that at the moment I would want to use. I tried it. I built it. Again, I'm filming this in advance, but I built it for the King of the Hill. I was doing a Great League. And for Great League, you have a certain amount of points to build. So at the 7-point level, there's Registeel, the Owl, Lantern, right? And then at the 5, there was like the second tier, which is like Walrein, Swamperts, Lickitung. And then at the 2, there was like third tier, which was like Scrafty and stuff like that. And then at the bottom tier, there was the rest. So I built my team with 3 5s, Swampert, Ninetales, Lickitung, because that lineup in its own has won me many, many games, right? So that was easy. And then I forget what I put. A Charizard. I put Charizard at the 2. And then I tried to get spicy with Wobbuffet, because Wobbuffet, I have a team coming with Wobbuffet for Great League, so stay tuned for that. Unless I already put it out. And then Togedemaru. And my opponent, I haven't fought him yet, but my opponent had Cresselia, which I wall everything. Jumpluff, which I wall everything. Walrein, which I one-shot with that. Sableye, which is an evenish matchup. And then he had Diggersby. And it's one of those things where it's like Diggersby just absolutely walls this between Mudshot and Fire Punch 2. Like, even if I get to 2 wild charges, the Diggersby is going to come out with 100 energy and like 80% health, which is why it is so like risky to use, because I dominate so many of the Pokemon, but I can just as easily just get walled and it'll kill me in the matchup. So undecided if I want to use it. But yeah, that's the pros and cons of this Pokemon. Anyways, that is it. I appreciate you watching, appreciate the comments and support, and I will see you guys in the next one.